As an educator, I love to use games that can be easily transferred over to a learning environment. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about Codenames. I've had the opportunity to use this game in my classroom, and I think it would make an excellent game for at-home learning as well. So we're going to talk about that in this video. I'm Dustin Satz from Board Game with Education. Let's check it out. Codenames is a great team-based party and family game where you form teams of spies and you're trying to communicate with your spies in the field by using code names. So by giving different word clues through word association, you are trying to win the game. So the gist of the game, for example, you might have a word like rose and you want your team to guess the word rose. So you will give them a clue like red, right? Roses are red, usually. And they'll guess the word rose. But you have to be careful because on the board, maybe the word apple is there. And if your team guesses the word apple, you lose. So it makes for a lot of fun, clever moments like that where you have to navigate around different words that are associated with other words. Really fun. I want to go over a little bit more of how to play, and then we're going to get into how we can use it for at-home learning now. So in Codenames, you're competing as teams. You have the red team and the blue team, and then you see on this grid there's like a manila color and a black color. So the manila color are neutral and the black color is the spy. This grid aligns with the words that your team needs to guess. So you make a 5x5 grid of words. You have the red team needs to guess these words, blue team these words, based on where they are on the grid. Now, if your team guesses the black word, it's game over. So sometimes you might run into the example like I gave where you have rose and apple. Well, apple's the black one and rose is your team's blue word. You do not want to give the clue red because they might guess rose and you will lose. So be careful with that. So going over a really quick setup and round of the game. So you get into teams and choose a spy master. The spy master sits at the end of the table and they are the only ones that can see this grid. You have a blue spy master and a red spy master. So in this example, I might be the red team spy master. I want my team to guess the word server and table. I don't want them to guess knife. So maybe I might give the clue restaurant. If I give that clue, I have to be very careful that knife is not a black word or the other team's word. Because if the other team guesses knife, and that's their word, they score a point. If it's the black word, I automatically lose. If it's a manila, our turn is just over and no one scores a point and it's the other team's turn. So you give a number like 2 and your team has to guess 2 words. So you can give them 4 and your team has to guess 4 words. They always have the opportunity to pass as well. So your team can continue to guess until you mess up. So there are other details to how each round plays out, but I'm going to link that down below because this video is about how we can use this game in a learning environment. So now that we know a bit about how to play Codenames, I want to talk about how we can use it in a learning environment. So this game is excellent for language learning. I've had the opportunity to use this game in my classrooms for learning language, for something to play maybe if we have a little bit extra time at the end of class, or to play to review some vocabulary. I've also had the opportunity to play this game to learn Chinese. So what I was able to do, I joined a board game meetup in Chinese, and they had the translations for each of the cards on the card inside the sleeve of the game. So each card comes inside a sleeve, and then you can write the translation on another piece of paper of that word. For my Chinese, it helped me elicit vocabulary words I had already learned and remember them again. It also helped me to remember some very key words that made for some memorable moments in the game, so I'll never forget some of the words. Like, for example, bing an is cookie in Chinese. I will never forget that because of this game. So it's really cool because in the game there are a lot of words that are associated with different things, like the word date. That could be a dried up fruit, or it could be something you do with your boyfriend or girlfriend. So you have to think of really clever ways to come up with clues to help someone win the game or to help your team win the game. It's also excellent for teaching the differences between those words too, so great for English. If you want to check out our podcast, Board Game with Education, episode number 9, it's perfect for language learners because it's adapted for someone who is learning English. They can go through that episode and learn how to play the game, learn some vocabulary, learn some phrases for playing the game. You could also go to our website to check out the PDF handout with that as well. I'll link that below in the description. I also want to talk about how this game might be used for at-home learning outside of language. So this game could be really great for reviewing terminology. Maybe you're helping your kids at home with their homework or with their classwork because they're at home learning. Well, what you can do is find out what vocabulary words they are studying right now in all of their subjects. Create a game by compiling all those words together, shuffling it up, create your own Codenames deck. You will need the game and some sleeves to be able to write in some words. It would be really cool to mix it with the words that Codenames already has with some vocabulary and terminology from what they are learning in school. Really great for maybe seeing how some of the words can mix together and how you can associate those words together, words that they are learning in class with maybe some everyday words that they're very used to knowing. So I will have a link below so you can get set up with your own at-home learning kit like this one that we put together for learning Spanish. My wife speaks Spanish and I know a little bit Spanish, so it was really cool to put this together and practice my Spanish a little bit playing this game. So check out the link below. Be sure to also check out the other editions of the game. They have a duet edition, which is a cooperative edition. Instead of playing as teams, you're all playing together. They have a pictures version. There's a Harry Potter, Marvel, Disney. Check it out. I'll leave those in the description below as well. Also, check out some other games from Czech Games Edition. We have a video I'll put either here or at the end about trap words and using that in your classroom too. Think it could make for an excellent at-home resource as well. Stay tuned for more videos from myself and Board Game with Education.